Player ratings, starting off with Vicario. Sibgis was 7. I gave him a 6. It was a really quiet afternoon for Vicario. I remember Thiago goes through on goal in the first half, and he made a good save there. But I mean, that's pretty much the only thing he had to do for the whole game. I mean, really quiet day.
Yep. I think he'll be glad that he didn't have too much to do in this game. The ball, for large parts, barely entered our half. They were struggling to kind of get any pass moves together. I think Vicario just had to do simple things. Even the save he did have to make, decent save, but it's a save you expect him to make. And other than that, Brentford, whenever they had shooting opportunities, their finishing was off. So good day for Vicario.
Yeah. Pedro Porro up next, back in form. 8s all round for Pedro. Potentially is even his best performance of the season. I thought he was creative. Lovely kind of pre-assist for the Richarlison goal. Great ball to Xavi Simons. Pressing high up the pitch. So aggressive. Winning his duels. Winning countless amount of tackles. Those are the kind of performances we need to see on a regular basis for Pedro Porro, because I feel like his passing and his creativity and even his aggression has been pretty low over the last couple of weeks. And yesterday it was all there and all spot on and there for everyone to see.
Absolutely, and the way he supported Kudus in the attack was something that we just haven't seen enough of this season. The way he was overlapping, using his quality as well. The pass for the first goal was out of this world. Xavi has run from nearly inside his own half all the way into the penalty area, and he actually doesn't have to take a touch to lay it across the face for a shot. And that's how good Porro's pass is, right on a plate for him. And that's a very kind of Brentford-like goal as well, getting that early ball in behind for runners running off their markers.
And we Brentford.
We did. I think that's the kind of goal Frank coached a lot last season. So hopefully we start to see that a lot more. And we haven't. I was saying as well before, how often do we see our players passing in behind with quality? We just haven't seen it anywhere near enough. And obviously happiness with the first goal, and we got the goal. Brilliant from Porro. And I think throughout the day, Sade was completely marked out the game. I thought he was really strong into him. We didn't see anything of Sade.
You could see Sade towards the end of the game in the last half an hour really taking out his frustrations, didn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. And I think he had quality as well, Porro. When he got on the final third, his Keller has struggled to deal with his crossing. He whipped them a lot. Brilliant stuff. And he was unlucky maybe not to have got maybe another assist. Or he didn't get any assist, but a assist on the game. Put it that way.
Cristian Romero, 7 from Sim, 8 from me. I thought he was fantastic. Anytime the ball came anywhere close to him, he was there to step up, win the ball, proactive defending. I felt like there were actually a couple of moments in the first half where he looked a bit just over the top. You know, that Kuti that just like toes that goes a bit above that line. That tackle where he got the yellow card.
Yeah, he could have been sent off.
That was a pretty horrific challenge. Both feet off the ground and a kind of scissor kick, wasn't it?
I thought it was lucky, to be honest. I watched it back, and I think if the VAR could have easily reviewed that easily. So that's the only reason I marked him down, because he risked literally us going down to 10 minutes for no reason.
It was really funny because in the stands at that moment when the ref, because I thought the ref was pissing me off all day. Like there was countless amounts from what I saw of they gave a goal kick where it should have been a corner.
Yes, that happened a few times in the first half.
Yeah, it happened a lot of times during the game yesterday, and the ref was just pissing me off and pissing everyone off around me. And when that challenge went in, everyone around me saying, "What are you doing? That's never a foul. He got the ball." And I'm looking at it, be like, guys, he's lucky to stay on the pitch. Never mind, give away a foul. Like, come on. But look, I thought apart from that, I thought as the game wore on, he got more influential and helped the team a lot. I thought he was brilliant.
And that moment we spoke about before where Kudus did that stupid trick, he got bailed out by Romero because Thiago actually spun Van der Ven and was in on goal. And if it wasn't for Romero just putting a foot in very late as Thiago was about to pull the trigger, that would have been a goal-scoring chance. So that was really good for Romero. And I think he did definitely got better as the game wore on. I thought first half, if anyone was a bit shaky for any reason, it was probably him. But I don't think he wasn't playing badly. He was just doing some stupid things. But I thought by and large he had a very strong performance again.
Yeah, and showed his captain's ability as well when Kudus was kind of making a mockery of the game a little bit. He was there to put him straight.
But he's now 3 yellows away from a 2-game suspension.
Yeah, 17 games he's got.
No chance he can survive, surely. But it's weird, you know, he's going through quite a good patch where he wasn't getting booked as much, and now he's got 7 yellows already this season.
Yeah. Since Thomas Frank's come in, he's told him to be more aggressive.
Yeah, be yourself, be yourself.
Let's go to Micky van der Ven. 8's all round for Micky. This guy is a Rolls Royce of a defender, man. Just, is there any better sights than a defender looking like he's going to go through one-on-one and Micky van der Ven?
Oh.
Like, you just know at that moment, even if he hasn't caught up with him yet, you just know you're all right with Micky van der Ven there. And I think that happened at least once in the game yesterday. He makes these like spot-on challenges in the box where, you know, if you get it wrong, you're in big trouble. But Micky van der Ven just gets it spot on more times than not, and I think his defending is getting better and better. A couple of times he was marauding down that left-hand side as well. Fantastic display.
Yeah, and I love his confidence when he's been when he's got the ball and someone tries to press him and he's like, you try if you like, and he just bursts past him. I thought yesterday as well, his passing was a lot better. He's passing forward a lot more with a lot more confidence. So I'm definitely noticing that. You know, it wasn't just Romero being tasked with passing in between the lines. I think Van der Ven took a lot of that responsibility, so that's really good. And as you said, there was definitely one occasion, I think it was in the first half, where it looked like Thiago was in on goal and it looked like, okay, we're in trouble. And then as he does, Van der Ven just comes out of nowhere, picks his pocket, and all of a sudden we're back on the attack again. So thought he was really, really great. Didn't really put a foot wrong.
Jed Spence at left back. Sim gives him a 9. I gave him an 8. We said it was Porro's best performance of the season. I think it was Jed Spence's best performance of the season yesterday as well. Relentless down that left-hand side, taking high positions, winning the ball back, pressing, getting to the byline. My only criticism of Jed Spence is I thought, look, he did create a couple of chances as well, but with the amount of times and he had the ball in great positions, I thought he was a bit wasteful. But nonetheless, I thought it was a top performance.
Yeah, he did set up that chance for Sarr near the end with a brilliant cutback.
Yeah.
He obviously created his own chance when he tackled, I think it was Nathan Collins, went through one-on-one. It was difficult because it was on his left foot, so a difficult chance, but, you know, I think most players would want to score in that position. I just thought, especially in that second half, he was so relentless. He did everything I've been asking him to do, which is get higher up the pitch, go to the byline, take people on. I felt like yesterday, it was there was like a switch in his mindset. I feel like he's been so hesitant to go for the space and really take people on this season, especially when he's playing a left back. But yesterday was like, it was like a flip in his mind, right? You know what? Every time I'm getting the ball, I'm going to take someone on. I'm going to go down the line. And I thought he was exceptional. And he was still like running at full pelt in the 90th minute. I was like, this guy can run for 90 minutes. He was just non-stop. His fitness is maddening. And I thought yesterday he was absolutely exceptional. His best performance this season, his best performance at left back, maybe his best performance at all with a Tottenham shirt. I thought he was that good, to be honest. And if he's going to play like that more regularly, then we're not going to miss a doggy who's, you know, unfortunately injured at the moment, because that was probably the best left back performance we've seen this season.
What's going on with the doggy?
Injured.
I mean, yeah, but like he did an interview literally a few days ago being like, yeah, I'm back fit now, I feel the best I've ever been, all this kind of stuff, and now he's injured again. Is there any kind of, do we know anything about it? Like how long it's going to be?
Yeah, he said, well, Frank said it's a soft tissue injury, get a goal against Newcastle, and hopefully, well, he didn't say hopefully, he was asked, will he be out for long? He said not too long, whatever that means.
God.
So Solanke was supposed to be not too long as well.
Exactly, so we'll see a doggy again at the back end of the season.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's move into the midfield. Rodrigo Bentancur, Sim gives him an 8, I gave him a 7. These are the performances that we want to see from Rodrigo Bentancur, controlling things in the middle of the park, cool, calm, measured, press resistant, driving the team forward. And I thought, you know, from a defensive capability as well, did his job unbelievably well. Such a top performance from Lolo. And we need to see this more often, because we've actually seen really good performances from him this season. But every time there's a good performance from Bentancur, there's a poor one that follows. So we need to see consistency from him.
And I think Mike Warmington in the comments really hits the nail on the head with what I'm going to say about Bentancur, and that's anticipation. That's his biggest strength. I feel like when he's reading where a pass is going to go and he just steals in and gets us on the attack, that's like a really strong part of his game. And that's something that, even in his worst games, he still has a few moments where he uses his brain really well in those elements. I think where he really struggles is where he's being taken on, or physically sometimes he can get overrun. And I think that's where we've been really frustrated. But his anticipation is top notch. I think yesterday was a number of times he just read where a pass was going to go, intercepted it and got us on the front foot and got us in a good position.
And we saw that against Newcastle, didn't we?
Newcastle as well. Even where I thought he had a poor game, his anticipation is still there. His passing as well was a lot better, I felt, in this game. There was one moment, I know it didn't lead to a chance, but Muani's running through on goal, and he just plays a brilliant through ball from his own half in behind, and Muani was inches away from being one-on-one. Keller, unlucky for him, just kind of got in front of him. But I thought Bentancur was so much more confident, was really good next to Gray. Was only on for 65 minutes, but I thought was a really strong showing.
Let's move on to Archie Gray. Sim gives him a 7 this time. I gave him an 8. I was so impressed with Archie Gray, 19-year-old in the middle of the park, holding his own. Not only holding his own, but was put in such a fantastic performance. And, you know, he's really starting to come to the fore now for Tottenham Hotspur. I thought he pocketed Mikkel Damsgaard, and Damsgaard, you know, he provided 11 assists in the Premier League last season, showed what a top quality Premier League attacking midfielder he can be, and he got hooked at 60 minutes, and I think a big reason for that was the performance of Archie Gray. So solid in the defence. He makes these kind of sliding challenges quite often in the midfield, and they all seem to be absolutely spot on. Alongside Bentancur as well, they work so well in tandem with each other, and when one sat, one went and pressed forward, and when Archie Gray was pressing forward, I thought he was showing such good quality. I've loved what I've seen from Archie Gray this season, and I've said it on a number of occasions, but this one tops the lot, I think.
Yeah, he definitely just seems to be growing and growing with every performance, and this one probably the best one. Yeah, I thought it was a top performance from him. I thought when you're up against an experienced player like Jordan Henderson, it can be very difficult for a young midfielder to get the better of him, but I thought he absolutely did, and he added energy. He was snapping at his heels, wasn't able to dictate the game, but I thought he was confident on the ball as well, wriggling out difficult situations, really facilitating the attacking players as well. So I think he'd be really proud of his performance, Archie Gray. I think he's starting to be really consistent.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's go on to Xavi Simons. 9s all round for Xavi. He was my man the match, and just straight from, you know, the kickoff, you could just see the intent from Xavi Simons. He was getting the ball, picking up those pockets. I also thought he had freedom to actually take shots from outside the box. You know, he did that a couple of times. I thought there was more of a willingness to take shots from outside the box from Tottenham yesterday, which we haven't seen for large parts of the season. But he was just so creative, and I thought, you know, first half he ends of half with a goal and assist, both at such high quality. Picks up that space on the right hand side off that ball from Porro, puts it on the money for Richarlison, and the goal, man. The goal. Just as you think he loses the ball, he shows that aggression, shows that bite to win the ball back, and he kept running and running and running and stops the ball in the far corner. No stopping that. So, you know, he must have been so delighted going in at half-time. Confidence was there. And in the second half, I know we didn't get a goal and he didn't get a goal contribution or anything, but everything's good Spurs were doing, I felt was all going through him. So, you know, no surprise, get a proper creator, get a number 10 in there, and you start creating chances. And he was at the heart of things. And I thought it's been criminal for him not to start any of the last 4 games. And I think he's proved Thomas Frank wrong in this game, and he's put in a top performance.
Yeah, and it was a breath of fresh air. Seeing him on the pitch and seeing him performing that way was so encouraging. He needed that performance for his confidence and just for the team. We need him. With no Kulusevski and Maddison available for the foreseeable future, we need him in the team. He needs to be the hub of the team, and he showed he can carry that burden on his shoulders yesterday. I thought he was exceptional. The spinner away from Vandenberg for the first goal as well, the composure it looks easy, but to just put it on a plate for Rishi was fantastic, and that was a really good piece of play. And the turn of pace he showed was absolutely brilliant as well. To get away from the Vandenberg, and then what I loved about that second goal was he made a mistake, but he didn't let that affect him. He just got straight back up, won the ball, and just ran half the pitch, and ended up just going all the way. And he saw that gap, he just went for it. He didn't have any second thoughts. Just went for the gap and slotted it home. So confident. What I loved as well was he wasn't afraid to put a sliding challenge in, was he? So I liked it, but also he does have to be careful because he gets one of those wrong, and all of a sudden he can find himself off the pitch. But he definitely has no lack of endeavour, does he? When you compare him to, like, if you remember how Eriksen used to play, like, obviously Eriksen's brilliant. I'm not saying he's better than Eriksen, but Eriksen always used to do the running, but he would never really just go for a challenge. When would you ever remember Eriksen going for a sliding challenge in his whole Tottenham career? Yeah, Xavi has that little bit of bite about him. He's not scared to put in a challenge like that, and I thought he, a couple of times yesterday, just throwing himself into challenges, really trying to show his work ethic and his aggression, which was really, really great. But I think by and large, we'll just Kudus' quality, which really shone. And I thought he was playing it quicker, wasn't getting bullied. He was spinning players yesterday for fun. And look, let's hope it's the start of things to come for him. And playing in a kind of false nine a bit position as well. I felt like he was kind of very central, but off the ball he was going in a 4-4-2, so he was quite far up the pitch a lot of the time. And I think that link-up play of him with other players really helped.
Absolutely. Mohammed Kudus up next. 8's all round for Kudus, and I feel like his form is really starting to improve now. Last couple of games, he's got a goal, he's got an assist. He didn't get any goal contributions in this game, but what he did do, he was a constant threat down that right-hand side. First half, took Aya to the cleaners. Second half, they had to change because he was getting rinsed too much. They changed to Rico Henry, who still struggled, maybe not as much as Aya, but still struggled. And I feel like he just had the constant beating, taking it past men at will, creating chances at will. The guy was a constant threat. And what I liked most about this game is not how good Kudus was, but how we just didn't look for Kudus every single time. We had so much variation in our play, and I think it helped him as well, where the burden wasn't solely on Kudus to create chances, and it helped him. I really feel like it helped him. So massive performance from Kudus, and he keeps going in the right direction.
Yeah, and the performances are like this is why Spurs fans immediately took to him as soon as he signed with some of those early games, and unfortunately we haven't seen them as much. Frank it was kind of implying that this is because he had that injury, which he had, I think, just before United, didn't he? He had an injury which kept him out for a game or two, but hopefully he's over that now. From the evidence yesterday, he was looking a lot sharper than he has done. He was beating Aya for fun. I think the fact that Porro was getting a lot further forward and helping him, that helped him get a lot more space. And the fact that we had Xavi there, we had Muani and Richarlison closer to him, that left a lot more space and a lot more things for Brentford to think about. So that was really great as well. And he was just so exciting. He did take a shot in the second half, but I want to see a bit more from that. But he's so creative, so hard to deal with. Whether he gets a corner or creates a chance, it always one of those two things happen usually. Very rarely when he's in that kind of mood he ever gets tackled. And I thought it was a really top performance again.
And he did have the ball in the back of the net at one stage. He went over to his
good finish.
yeah, really good finish. He went over to his stall. Thought he'd scored. I haven't seen that back, but when the replay flashed up quickly at the stadium, it didn't really look offside to me.
No, it was offside.
It was, yeah?
Quite far.
Oh, far offside, yeah. All right, fair enough. But he definitely thought he'd scored. But yeah, look, good display by him. Let's move on and talk about Randal, Kolo, Muani. Started out on the left wing. Sim gives him a 7. I gave him an 8. I thought energy and work rate from him is just phenomenal. Consistently pressing down that side, winning the ball back. I think he frightens the life out of defenders when he's running at them because it's his sheer physicality. I mean, I just love his work rate. I really have, and I've loved it since he's joined, and I think he's getting better and better in a Spurs shirt. I want to see more in terms of getting in goal-scoring positions and, contributing a bit more to goals and assists, which we haven't seen in the Premier League as of yet. But I think it will come. If he keeps playing in the manner that he's playing and keeps working as hard as he's playing, I have no doubt it will come. But like I said before in the match review, I just thought he did such an unbelievable job for the team, and a big reason why we were able to keep the ball, just keep Brentford penned in potentially the whole game.
Yeah, he's got a really good way of just keeping the ball, but also always going forward, not just going backwards all the time. He's got really good physicality about him. I really liked how he was linking up with Spence and how he was linking up the rest of the team with his little flicks. And when he does kind of get square up with a defender, he's not afraid to take him on. And he did. There was a really nice moment on the byline where he looked like a couple of times he had to fight to keep it in, but he got to the byline and won a few corners, and that was really, really positive as well. He was always kind of he was never really a goal threat, apart from the moment from a corner. Obviously, he had that headed chance, really should have scored, but didn't have too many opportunities to be a goal threat from open play. But I thought it was really good. He played more of a facilitator, I felt like, in this game. Whether the left wing position, he showed he can do a job there. Now, whether that's his long term position or something that it's going to be his position for us, I don't know, but
he showed he can be an option there.
He showed he can definitely be an option there. He can definitely play there, and that was really good.
And then Richarlison, 8's all round for Rishi, got his goal, top goal scorer for Spurs this season. 8's all round for him. He's been, fantastic yesterday. Definitely very different to what we've seen in recent weeks. He wasn't, consistently on the floor. He didn't show that kind of frustrating side to him. I just thought he put in a fantastic performance. He was putting himself about. He was aggressive. He was making it stick. What blew me away from Richarlison is when he plucked that ball out of the air and just like took it down with his right foot, and I was just like, wow, this guy is on form today. But yeah, he was a constant threat. He was consistently asking questions of the defence, and his hold-up play was better than we've seen since the first 3 games of the season.
Yeah, he was looking sharper. He was looking really great actually yesterday, Richarlison. His pressing, he was a lot more aggressive. He just looked like he was competing with the centre-backs a lot better than he has been in recent weeks. And obviously he got in the position to get his goal. And it was, as much as a tap-in, the ball is getting fired to him. So he just has to make sure he controls it, make sure he just puts it in the empty net. Obviously he would have got absolute pelters if he missed it, but got the goal. And he's in good form. 4 goals in 6 games, 7 goals in the whole season as well. So he's our top goal scorer. And look, long may it continue. I think he had a much better showing as well, performance-wise. I think having players closer to him really helped him. When he did hold the ball up, he had someone to give it to rather than just basically holding up the ball to no one. And I was really, really encouraged by another good showing from Rishi.
In terms of the substitutes, Paulinho came on midway through the second half. 7s all round for João. I think he came on and did exactly what it says on the tin, to be honest, with João Paulinho. He came on, put himself about, was like a raging bull in the centre of the park, just going after challenge after challenge after challenge. And, just helped us so there was no kind of situation where Brentford could see a way back in the game.
Yeah, I think shin kicker in chief he was when he came on. I think he was just absolutely everywhere, wasn't he? And I think the good thing he did, I think we were having a lot of possession before he came on, and obviously we were pressing intensely. I think when he came on, we did back off a little bit, and I'm not saying we gave Brentford any encouragement. They had a bit of possession and they were starting to build some kind of passing moves. And what he did really well was just make sure he was just breaking up every single time. Make sure any time they looked like they were getting a move together, there's Paulinho just popping up, getting a tackle, putting out for a throw, giving away a free kick, just something to constantly break it up. And maybe I'm thinking, Paulinho, I think obviously certain games you will need him to start as well, but this kind of role, especially where in game states where we're winning, could be really positive for him, I think.
Absolutely.
He brings so much energy and so much physicality. Like, imagine when you've got a lead and you've got Paulinho then coming on, you're going to have to somehow get past him. It's a daunting task.
Yeah, and I think it's important to have a profile like his in the squad. It's just something that we've been missing for so long. Just someone that is just hard as nails, that can just put in consistent challenges and win the ball back and be hard to play against.
But I agree, but that as much as we talk about Simons being left out, he's been left out now 3 of the last 4 games.
Yeah.
So what do we think that's due to? Is Frank realising we don't need him necessarily in some games now, whereas before he seemed to be like absolutely essential?
Well, I think there's a big difference in terms of what the team needs between Paulinho and Xavi. Obviously, we don't have another 10, and that's why it was a disgrace that Xavi wasn't playing, because we don't have one. We do have other players that can come in midfield and play very well and show better ball progression on the ball. So with João Paulinho, He'll get his moments, and I think there's definitely games that call for him and call for the skill set that he does have. But even if he doesn't start, like you mentioned, he can still play a big part in games.
My point being, for most of the season, it's fair to say he's been seen as essential. And is he not being seen as that now, do you think?
No, he's not to start from games. You can see it clearly, and I think that's the right way to go about things. I think, like I said, in certain games he will be starting, but in games like this, particularly, there's no need to start João Paulinho. You go, you take the game to them, and then once you're 2-3-0 up, then you bring him on to see out the game with. I think that's the perfect way to do it.
Is he in our best 11 at the moment? Question.
Depends who you're playing against, who the best 11 is. That's the reality. But if we're playing a mid-table team at home, then no, he shouldn't be in our best 11.
I agree with that.
Let's move on to Wilson Odobert. 6s all round for Wilson. Yeah, look, he showed a lot of energy and a lot of running at times. There was this one moment where it looked like he could have crossed the ball or even taken a shot, but he just hesitated a bit too much, and the chance passed him by, which was a bit frustrating. There was another moment where I think he could have scored as well, but it was a bit of huff and puff from Wilson Odobert.
Yeah, it came on, looked a bit of a threat. Could have maybe done a bit more, but if Spence plays that pass earlier, he would have been onside. Maybe he could have done better, but he also did miscontrol the chance, and obviously Kelleher did save it, scrambled to his feet. I thought he looked bright, but yeah, it didn't really do much.
And then last but not least, Thomas Frank. Sim gives him an 8. I gave him a 9. I thought he managed this game to perfection yesterday. Did what every Spurs fan wants to see, and that is play on the front foot, be a consistent threat throughout the game, control the game for 90 minutes, and completely obliterate a team that comes to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. We haven't seen that since the Burnley game, but this was a far cry from the Burnley game. Even the Burnley game, I know we won 3-0, but we weren't consistently on the front foot and consistently attacking, and wave after wave of Tottenham attack. This is what Spurs fans want to see. This is when you imagine Spurs playing at home against the kind of mid-table team, this is what you kind of envisage in your head, a game like what it was yesterday. So you thought you were watching a proper Tottenham team yesterday. So I give Thomas Frank massive credit for that. The starting lineup, the dynamics of the team, the changes he made throughout the game. I thought everything was absolutely spot on from Thomas Frank yesterday, so I'll give him a lot of credit.
Yeah, I think he deserves a lot of credit. I think the way he got us playing finally yesterday with intensity, aggression, the pressing, but also having all the attacking players in the front line that we needed to open up the opposition, and also not relying on a solid base of Bentancur, Paulinho was great. I think the focus on getting the fullbacks a lot higher up and supporting the wingers and opening up more space for us, and the fact that we were focusing more on how can we hurt the opposition more than how can we stop the opposition, was refreshing and encouraging. I think the fact that we dropped off a little in the second half and then we managed that game pretty well in that sense, I thought was also quite clever, and I thought the way we were springing on Brentford in that second half was quite impressive. So I think the substitutions worked. I thought Paulinho came on and just helped manage the game. Top performance, and I think he managed the game fantastically. Can't really complain about anything.
Yeah, and all the stories were there to be written before the game, weren't they? His old team that he's been with for 9 years, coming to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, Spurs on dreadful form, a lot of fans not seeing a light at the end of the tunnel, and then that happens. So it's great for everyone involved, apart from if you're a Brentford fan, obviously. But that is our player ratings from the 2-0 win against Brentford, and we're going to finish off the